Mr Chair.
Ko Pini Hanare.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much. Tēnā koe, Mr Chair. Look, I rise to make a brief contribution on this particular part, and as my colleague, Mr Nash, my learned colleague, I apologise, takes the lead from Jacinda Ardern, our other learned colleague, I like to take my lead from Mr Goff, the Honourable Phil Goff, who has seen many legislation pass through this House and would have been here when the bill was introduced, and also I thought gave a very good SOP, one that acknowledged the families and the tragedies that sadly met Mr Tamatea and the others in military action serving our country, and he was approached by the people. And so when I consider this particular bill, Mr Chair, I think about the people in cases like this. I think, will this particular amended bill meet the needs of the people? We heard harrowing submissions from the people around some of the processes that have taken place in the past. And it seems far too often we're in the House here now debating bills that really only tinker around the edges. They don't actually get stuck in and make some meaningful changes. While it might propose some good things, we'd like to see more good things in this particular bill, and that's what we wanted to see. I believe that SOPs that were sadly voted down in this House would have really given this bill some teeth, because I'll say this, Mr Chair, we had come very, very close. Jacinda Ardern, in leading this, the Labour Party on this issue, it came very, very close to supporting this bill. But sadly, once again, it's given a Coke Zero or a Diet Coke, when what we're actually looking for is the full body Coke. Something that will actually just give the Coroner's office the power to do what the public expect them to do. They do a great job, and I want to thank them in this contribution, Mr Chair. But I will say this, the hard work that they do is not being recognised by this bill. It really isn't. They've produced great bodies of work over the past. This side of the House in particular has taken health and safety in the workplace very seriously. In my contribution earlier on this bill, I talked about the tragic and sad and horrible record of the forestry industry. And we would like to have, on this side of the House, seen the recommendations from a coroner actually carry some weight, so that people across Aotearoa, New Zealand, will see that, well, actually, we're empowering the coroner to make sure that these kinds of tragedies aren't revisited. So this is an instance where, once again, we're tinkering around the edges. And it was exemplified in the number of SOPs put up by our side of the House, by the Labour Party, that I thought would have actually really given this particular amendment bill some punch. So, in closing, Mr Chair, the Coroner's Amendment Bill, perhaps it should have been the Coroner's Tinker Around the Edges, Not Quite Hit the Mark Bill, the Disempowerment Bill, and I agree with the comments made by my colleague here, Mr Nash, that there's a good chance we're going to be back here sometime in the future. And I've had a discussion with a current serving coroner, who expressed to me his dismay that it didn't quite get across the line for those who are actually dealing with the people, those who are doing the work. It doesn't give them the capacity to make sure that the office stands with solid reputation. And moving into the future, Mr Chair, thank you.
Members, we come to the vote on the clauses, and the question is, that clause 1 stand part. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Party votes called for. I ask the clerk to conduct a party vote.
New Zealand National,
59 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour,
32 votes opposed.
Green Party,
13 in favour.
New Zealand First,
12 votes in favour.
Māori Party,
2 votes in favour.
Act New Zealand,
1 in favour.
United Future,
1 in favour.
Any other votes?
Members, the ayes are 88, the noes are 32. Clause 1 will stand part. We now move to Clause 2, and we have the Minister's table amendment replacing 1 July 2016 with the day immediately after the expiry of the period 1 month that commences on the date on which this Act receives the royal assent. The question is that the Minister's amendment be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. The question now is that Clause 2 as amended stand part. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Party votes called for. Ask the clerk for a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
32 votes opposed.
Green Party.
13 votes in favour.
New Zealand First.
12 votes in favour.
Māori Party.
2 votes in favour.
ACT New Zealand.
1 vote in favour.
United Future.
1 vote in favour.
Members, the ayes are 88, the noes are 32. Clause 2 as amended will stand part. The question now is that Clause 3 stand part. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Party votes called for. Ask the clerk for a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
32 votes opposed.
Green Party.
13 votes in favour.
New Zealand First.
12 votes in favour.
Māori Party.
2 votes in favour.
ACT New Zealand.
1 in favour.
United Future.
1 in favour.
Any other votes?
Members, the ayes are 88, the noes are 32. Clause 3 will stand part. I will report this bill with amendment presently. Are you going to be moving that? I'll give it to you. You read that out when I get to it. Members, we now turn to the Riccarton Racecourse Development Enabling Bill and the Riccarton Racecourse Bill. The Business Committee determined on the 9th of March 2016